everybody! Welcome back to story time. How are you doing since the last story time? I hope well. I'm doing pretty well as well. And we're going to be reading stories about a garden today, and also another wonderful book about a turtle spring. But let's start with the garden book. I hope everybody had a really nice week, and stay tuned for the craft. How is your spring going? Are you seeing any frogs, hearing any peepers? So this book is called Over in the Garden. It's by Jennifer Ward and illustrated by Kenneth Spengler. And look at all those cool bugs. See that? Praying mantis and a snail and a beetles and a spider and an ant and a dragonfly. Whoa, that's a lot of bugs. But bugs are what makes a garden do its thing. You know how busy bees are. So Jennifer is dedicating this book for Rich, and Kenneth is dedicating this book to all those little creatures that fill my life with joy and fear. What is he afraid of? Okay, so, and the bees are just saying, hey, hey, with their beautiful wings. God, don't you wish you could fly sometimes? So this is also a good book about counting, so you're going to learn some counting stuff here. Over in the garden, in the early morning sun, lived a mother praying mantis and her little mantis one. Pounce, said the mother. I pounce, said the one. So they pounced and they hunted in the early morning sun. Look at them. You see the little one? So tiny. I can't wait to see the praying mantises again. I love them. They're so cool. Over in the garden where the sunflowers grew lived a mother ladybug and her little beetles too. Crawl, said the mother. We crawl, said the two. So they crawled over petals where the sunflowers grew. Whoa, it's a really up-close shot of a ladybug. Whoa! Over in the garden near the shady old tree lived a mother dragonfly and her little dragons, 3. Zip, said the mother. We zip, said the 3. So they zipped away and they zoomed near the shady old tree. That's a cool picture, isn't it? Do you see the wheelbarrow and the planters up in the left-hand side or right-hand side there? Somebody's ready to do something in their garden, I think. Over in the garden on the damp, earthy floor lived a quiet mother snail and her baby snails 4. Slither, said the mother. We slither, said the 4. So they slithered and they slid on the damp, earthy floor. Look, there's some mushrooms. And some kind of a critter. I think it's a bee having some pollen breakfast. That's really cool. Such nice pictures, too. Over in the garden where the apple blossoms thrive lived a colony of bees and their little bees 5. Buzz, said the workers. We buzz, said the 5. So they buzzed and they flew where the apple blossoms thrive. And what rhymes with buzz? Fuzz. And those bees are fuzzy. Fuzzy bees. Look at their antenna and all their legs and the different parts of their bodies and their beautiful wings. And they're gathering pollen. And there's also a little tiny spider up here. I don't know if you can see that. Little spider checking them out. Oh no! Our bee took a dive. He got so inspired by this page that he was like, I'm gonna fly, I'm gonna try it. He almost did. Sorry, bee. I guess it didn't make your wings very well. Over in the garden where the vines and berries mix lived a little mother spider and her baby spider 6. Jump, said the mother. We jump, said the 6. So they jump through the garden where the vines and berries mix. It's got a good rhythm to it, doesn't it? Look at the spider. Look at all those eyes. Imagine the sunglasses that you would have to wear as a spider. You'd have to have like 6 panes on your sunglasses. Look at all those cool spiders. I love fuzzy spiders. I'm not afraid of them. I like them. I welcome them into my home so they can eat the mosquitoes that might get trapped in there. Over in the garden where the flowers grow toward heaven lived a mother butterfly and her caterpillars 7. Nibble, said the mother. We nibble, said the 7. So they nibbled and they climbed where the flowers grow toward heaven. Look at that beautiful butterfly. Oh my goodness. That is a magnificent butterfly. And you see her babies, caterpillars. That's right. To get to be a butterfly, you have to start out as a caterpillar. Over in the garden by the old wooden gate lived a mother roly-poly and her little babies 8. Roll, said the mother. We roll, said the 8. So they rolled and they curled by the old wooden gate. Look at the roly-polies. That's kind of a cool defense mechanism, being able to roll up in a ball. Roll up. All right. Who are these guys? They look like ants to me. Over in the garden on a long curly vine crawled a group of soldier ants and their little workers 9. March, said the soldiers. We march, said the 9. So they marched and they crawled up the long curly vine. Those ants are always so busy. Oh, look at the fireflies. Over in the garden where the moon shines again lived a mother firefly. Lived a mother firefly and her little beetles 10. Glow, said the mother. We glow, said the 10. So they glowed and they flashed where the moon shines again. Mother firefly, mother fire. Say that 5 times fast. Hi. Oh, I guess that was it. We counted to 10. They couldn't think of anything for 11. I love that picture. Isn't that a great picture with the moon and the house and the fireflies? Oh, there's a firefly on a leaf too. Fireflies are so cool. I'm going to read about fireflies because there's a whole bunch of information at the back of this book, which you can get if you come here to the library and you can check it out. It's called Over in the Garden. It'll be out on top of the shelves because I'm going to put all the garden and the spring books up and around. So let's read about fireflies for a second. This is a beetle that produces a flashing light in its abdomen, which is another word for tummy. The male and female fireflies use the light to find each other at night. How cool! Insects! Whoop! So we are going to read one more book today, and it's called Turtle Spring. Isn't that a cool book? Look at that turtle. Look at that little girl. Look, there's some snowdrops and crocuses. This book is by a lady named Deborah Turney Zagwin. And she probably illustrated it as well, because when they don't have another person's name, that usually means that the person not only wrote it, but drew the pictures. And look at that beautiful picture. It's a mama and a little girl, and the mama's tummy is big, so she must have a baby in there. And they're sitting in a chair, and they're on top of a turtle. In a lot of Native American cultures, the turtle is considered to represent the earth. So maybe we'll learn a little bit about that in this book. And Deborah dedicates this book for Leo. Lucky Leo. And here we go. Look at this cool picture. Sitting in the grass, looking at the stars. She will find a place, draw her life deep within herself, and wait out the coming and going of the ice. That is David M. Carroll, The Year of the Turtle. It's a little part of a poem, probably, that he wrote. That's a nice way to start a story, with a poem. For Clee, it was a summer of hellos and goodbyes. Clee's relatives came, Clee's relatives went, but her new red-faced baby brother stayed for good. Wah, wah. Aren't you the lucky one, everyone insisted from orbits around the crib. Clee felt like a lost moon. Yeah, it must be hard when everybody's attention is on the littlest and the newest. For a kid who maybe just wants a little bit of attention, you know. Hold on, I skipped a page. You don't want to do that. One visitor, Uncle Fish Tank Hal, knew all about lost moons. Clee's family called him Fish Tank because he lived on a barge with aquariums for windows. I have brought something for Clee, he boomed. She's bungeed to my bike and she ain't happy about the trip. What could it be? Then Fish Tank Hal whispered in Clee's ear, she's a rebel with no cause. She jumped tank one time too many. She ain't a gift for a baby. She's too big and would only pinch it. Clee knew the feeling. Do you see his license plate? Fish Tank, F-Tank, Fish Tank Hal. Imagine living on a barge with aquariums for windows. I'll do that. It was late summer when Clee's father said goodbye. Uncle Fish Tank Hal was ferrying him to an island off of the coast. It's a big job, Clee's father told her ruefully. I won't be finished for months. September was quiet without the sound of Clee's father whistling in the garden. There were no hammering on the porch or firewood thumping in the woodshed sounds. The apples ripened without him. In the sandbox, Clee's turtle sunned herself. She looked contented, having just gobbled 3 worms. Her split pea eyes were smiley slits. What a cool picture that is. You see her waving goodbye to her dad. Let me just look at everything here. Look at that turtle. She looks very content. And what a beautiful picture, huh? Her legs almost look like corn. She's got some apples in there. The autumn sun lasted until mid-October, and then the wind blew it away. Sometimes Clee worried that the turtle had escaped, but then found her under a roof of leaves having a nap. You should consider bringing her in at night, Clee's mother advised. It's getting colder, too cold for a southern breed of turtle. In November, the house was full of baby. Afternoons is crabby time, Clee. Her mother's braids stuck out over one ear. Crabby baby. One morning, Clee dreamed that she had forgotten something. What do you think it is? I don't know. Dun, dun, dun. You gotta have that, at least one story. That's when Clee found her beneath a layer of grass, clippings and rotting leaves. In an effort to stay warm, the turtle had pulled in her feet and head into the heart of her shell. Now she was stone still and stone cold. Oh no! Later, Clee told her mother about burying the turtle in the compost heap. I made the hole deep so that the coyotes wouldn't dig it up. Her mother held her close and smoothed her hair. Sometimes, even carrying a house on your back can't keep you safe when you're a southern breed of turtle, Clee's mother said gently. The northern seasons slip one into the other, and weather can bring both good and bad surprises. Oh no, what happened to her turtle? Do you think her turtle is not with us anymore? I hope not. Let's see, I just don't want to try. There we go. December brought bitter weather. Clee's father's voice cracked over the radio telephone. Work's dragging on. Wind's fierce. I'm marooned, the receiver said. A pile of snow grew between the sandbox and the garden compost. Clea imagined her turtle curled up and frozen beneath it. Let's see the turtle. But compost usually can keep something fairly warm if it's down deep enough in the ground. The storms continued. There has never been a winter like this one, said the radio weatherman. Clee's house grew a shell of snow. Inside, only her brother was lively, rolling, sitting, crawling, and sucking on everything in sight. He loved the warm kitchen best. He's getting bigger. The January sun dawned light and cold. Clee scratched pictures for her brother in the window frost. She showed him how to breathe holes in the lace patterns. Do you see the poor little birdie? Kind of looks like a chickadee. I feed my birds all winter so they have something to eat when it's cold outside. The countryside was paper white. Winter games were written with mittens and boots on a pad of snow. Snow angels, snow forts, snow trails, snowballs, snowmen, snow women, snow people. Clee sat her little brother on a baking pan and twirled him until he was silly, giggling, dizzy. Beyond the snowbank was the sandbox, and beyond that, the compost mound. Ooh. Clee never made trails for her brother in that direction. I guess she was afraid what she would find there, right? Her turtle. In late February, the snow changed. It became gritty like frozen sand. Old snow, sighed Clee's mother. Sugar snow, wrote Clee's father. Over and over, it melted, refreezing into an icy crust. In early March, Clee could walk on it. Sometimes flakes of snow fell, but the afternoon sun winked them away. The winds blew lukewarm and playful from the south. Spring melt, sang Clee's mother. Job's done, wrote Clee's father. I'll be home soon. They do look like chickadees, but boy, they are pretty fuzzy. Don't skip page. Oh my goodness, this book is very hard to turn. I need to hire a professional page turner. Would you like the job? Apply within. We are an equal opportunity employer. You need to be about this high. By early April, the big snowbanks were disappearing. The garden emerged shabby and moist. In the morning, steam from the compost heap wafted over the sandbox. Like it was cooking, Clee thought sourly. A week later, Clee noticed the flowers in the corner of her sandbox. Crocuses and snowdrops, her mother smiled. Messengers of spring. Clee carried her squirming brother onto the porch for a closer look. Squirmy, squirmy. Oh, look at the compost. Got some worms. And there's the turtle. I hope the turtle's alive. A lot of creatures hibernate over the winter, which means they go into a deep sleep. And they wake up when it gets warmer. The sharp, sweet smell of old and new growth drew them to the garden's edge. Clee set her brother down on a corner of the sandbox. Yes, there were flowers growing out of the sand and green-tipped grass shoots, too. Clee squatted next to her brother and tried not to look at the compost pile. But she could see it out of the corner of her eye. And worse than that, the little gusts of wind were lifting the leaves. There was movement. Clee bit her lip to stop the tears. What is going to happen? I don't know. I hope it's something good. Clee's little brother saw it first. A patchwork creature was inching its way down the compost. It's the turtle! The boy fell back into the wet sand laughing. He was thrilled to have found a creature who crawled slower than he did. Look at the turtle. The turtle looks humongous compared to those children. A giant turtle, but not really, because look at now look at it, the size. As for Clee, she could not believe her eyes. Her turtle was very much alive and always had been. Yay! It was heading towards the sandbox with a sure-footed stubbornness that Uncle Fish Tank Hal knew well. A rebel with no cause, jumped tank one time too many. The northern seasons had slipped one into the other, but her southern breed of turtle had its own calendar, knowing when to tunnel and sleep and when to wake up. It was the best surprise. Kee, her little brother chuckled and poured sand down her boot. That's what little brothers are good for, huh? And the turtle was alive. And that's the last picture. What a great story. I'm going to read this part to you. It says, note to the reader. In the wild, red-eared slider... Yeah, try that again. In the wild, red-eared slider turtles like Clees live in the southeastern United States. When the weather turns cold, many turtles hibernate, which means they stop eating and they burrow underground for a long winter's nap. They may look dead, but the warmth of spring wakes them up from their deep, deep sleep. A compost heap is a mixture of yard clippings, leaves, and kitchen vegetable parings, like potato peels, eggshells, things like that, any kind of vegetable scraps and fruit scraps. And they all layer up with the yard clippings and leaves, and they rot nicely. A compost heap makes a good shelter for the turtles' winter hibernation because it's warm. And on a personal note, a compost heap is great because it turns into soil, and you could fertilize the rest of your garden with your old kitchen stuff, like vegetables and fruits. Isn't that incredible? So thank you, Deborah. That was a really wonderful book. And thank you for tuning in. I hope you stay tuned for our really fun craft. And happy Earth Month coming up soon. And we hope you enjoyed Storytime today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your day. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, 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 bark. Hello, hello. Whoa. Welcome to Crafting with Miss Adaria. What's happening? Woo! Did you enjoy those nifty stories I read to you? I hope so. I hope so. All about gardening and fun in the garden and all the things, because, you know, it is the end of March. And we are having some fun planting our garden so that it's going to be all ready for us in a couple of weeks. So what are we going to do? We're going to make a carrot. Speaking of gardening, what? All you need is some orange yarn, a piece of cardboard. You can take a piece of cardboard from something that got delivered to your house, or maybe your folks have a piece of cardboard. You want a green magic marker and a pair of scissors and these tiny, tiny little clothespins. If you can get them at any craft store, like Michael's or wherever, and they might even have them at like a Target or a Walmart. But if you don't have them, that's okay, because you can use something else. But I just saw this idea and I thought it was really fun. So let's get started. First, we're going to make a carrot shape. And it's not going to be a long, skinny carrot. It's going to be a little bit of a wider carrot. Just something like that. And then we're going to cut it out. Hey, cut that out. And it doesn't matter if you can see the magic marker because it's all going to be covered with yarn. Oh, it's hard to cut cardboard, isn't it? Oh, it's so hard. Be careful, please. Have an adult supervise you doing this or have them cut this out for you. All right, all right. Oh. That's the sound of how hard it is to cut out cardboard. Arr, arr, arr. Ah, I did it. Whew. Okay. So I know it looks like a speech bubble. Like, what did she say? But it's going to be a big old carrot. And how we're going to do this is, actually, you know what I want to do first is I want to color these little babies here. And the reason why we're going to color them is because they are going to be the tops of our carrots. You know how carrots have those beautiful green tops? That's the first thing that you see when they pop out of the ground is their leafy greens. So these little clothespins are going to be like little leafy greens at the top of your carrot. Wait till you see what it looks like. It is just so cute. And just to let you know, Miss Adaria isn't any sort of a crafting genius or anything, I tell you. I look on the internet and I get these ideas from other folks, and I just wanted to make that disclaimer. Some of the things I've done that have come out of my own head, but most of the things that I craft with you are kind of like my own takes on other people's crafting. And I don't mind that because it brings us all more interesting things to do. Because I don't know if I could come up with 52 really super interesting crafts a year on my own. So we all help each other out. Lots of librarians, lots of children's librarians are pretty crafty people and very resourceful too. Because we often don't have a lot of money. We have a shoestring budget. And we have to make it work and make it look good and make it fun. And we can usually do that. So, oh, look at my fingers. They're turning into carrot tops. That's okay. I think I'm going to try to get in here a little bit too. Just to make it green. It isn't easy being green, is it? You could take your little carrot top apart if you want to and get inside of here. I'm going to try to go down as far as I can. You can also use, if you don't have a green magic marker, you can use a green highlighter. That'll work. But I just happen to have a cool green magic marker. So let's just do one more of these. That's probably the most time-consuming thing of this craft is coloring these little magic markers. But I didn't want to do it ahead of time. I wanted to do it with you. With you and for you. You could probably whip this one out a little faster than I did the last one. I was being a little careful my first time. And what else would work is you could probably paint these. That would take about a half a second probably. You could do it with watercolor or you could do it with tempera paint. Let's see, I think I missed, this part. That would work, don't you think? What do you think? Tell me what you think. I can't hear you. So is everybody enjoying their spring so far? It's raining here today. Probably not going to be raining when we show the story time, but when we're taping it, it is raining. And we're so happy it's raining because all that rain is making everything grow. And that makes me very happy. Just get this little end up here, and I think we can call this one done. So there are your two little carrot tops. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap our carrot with this yarn to make it look like a carrot. So I'm not going to cut the yarn necessarily, but I am going to unravel enough of it so that when I start wrapping, I might not have to go back and unravel some more, and we might even have a little extra, and that's when I'll cut it, is when we're done. Did you guys do the maker's crafts with the yarn craft stick friends? Kind of gave me the idea to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the yarn with my finger right in the middle of the back of the carrot. You see that? And I'm just going to start wrapping this carrot. I'm going to wrap it over that initial place. I'm going to wrap that a couple of times so that it stays. You can go over and around. It doesn't have to look neat, and it doesn't have to be exactly covering everything. Just unravel your yarn as you go along because you don't want to tangle it up. Carrots, carrots. Carrots are so good for you. You come up near the top, it's going to be hard to finish that. So just hold it with your finger until you can get another one on there. And you could start working your way back down again. Look, all the unraveling I did, we're almost out. So let's unravel some more. Okay, I think that'll probably do it. I'm just going to get some of those gaps. Now, let's move this out of the way. Yarn likes to stick to itself, doesn't it? You could do this with any shape. You could make a cucumber or a zucchini or an apple. All those good things that are good for you. I just happen to like the carrot because I really like how the color, I like orange. I like orange a lot. I think it's just a wonderful color. And you can move this yarn around to fill in the gaps or however you want it to look. It doesn't have to be perfectly woven around. Just see, notice I'm using my finger to hold it just to get the end. And now take this end, right? Go up a little bit and then start winding it around itself. And you could end wherever you want. Oh, we got a loop coming off. A loop, a rebel loop. What you can do in this instance is just cut it a little bit, all right? Just cut that cardboard a little bit and slip that loop in there so it doesn't have any place to go. Okay, what's going on here? I think our loop became unlooped. That's all right. Because we can cut that loop. And tie it in the back. You can make a little carrot bow. Here's your little carrot bow. And for this one, let's see. I'm going to cut this a little bit here too and slip one of those other side of the loop in there just so it stays. Okay. And cut your yarn and you can tuck it in. You wind it around a couple of the other yarn pieces and it'll stay. And then you take your two little carrot tops, You put them right up here. You could do a third one if you want to, but it's going to take some time to color that. So just pretend this one is green. And there is your carrot. Look at that carrot that you made. You think it's good to eat? No, wait, let me, oh, it tastes like yarn and cardboard. Not very nutritious. So go eat some real carrots and some celery and all your other veggies and have some fruit too. And happy gardening, happy spring. And we hope we made your day with your carrot. Thank you very much, kids. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Please tune in next time when we'll have more exciting and fun stuff. And take care.